Hello, my name is Smith Bunga. My enrollment ID is 17SS02BT045. Today topic for a seminar presentation is the infectious viruses.
What is HIV? HIV is a virus that damages the immune system. The immune system helps the body fight off infection. Untreated HIV infects and kills CD4 cells, which are a type of immune cells called T cell. The CD4 cells are white blood cells that play an important role in the immune system. Your CD4 cell count gives you an indication of the health of your immune system, your body's natural defense system against pathogens, infections and illness. CD4 cells are sometimes also called T cells, T lymphocytes or helper cells. The HIV, a human immunodeficiency virus, are two species of a lentivirus. A lentivirus is a subgroup of a retrovirus. Any of a group of RNA viruses which insert a DNA copy of their genome into the host cell in order to replicate. It's called a retrovirus that infects in humans. Over time, they cause acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It's called AIDS. The origin of the human immunodeficiency virus has been a subject of a scientific research and debate since the virus was identified in the 1980s. It is widely believed that HIV originated in Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo around 1920 when HIV crossed a species from chimpanzees to humans. Up until the 1980s, we do not know how many people were infected with HIV or developed AIDS. HIV was unknown and transmission was not accompanied by noticeable signs or symptoms. While sporadic cases of AIDS were documented prior to 1970, available data suggested the current epidemic started in the mid to late 1970s. By 1980, HIV may have already spread to 5 continents: North America, South America, Europe, Africa and Australia. In this period, between 1 lakh and 3 lakh people could have already been infected. Routes of a transmission of HIV: sexual contact, male to male, male to female, female to female; blood exposure, needle sharing, occupational exposure, transfusion of a blood product; perinatal, transmission from a mother to a baby breastfeeding; occupational transmission, healthcare worker, hospital staff, laboratory worker and etc. Other routes: organ transplantation, artificial insemination and needle prick. Incubation period. The incubation period is from HIV infection till development of AIDS. It is from a few months to 10 years or even more. However, it is estimated that 75% of people infected with HIV will develop AIDS at the end of 10 years. The structure of HIV. HIV is called a retrovirus because it works in a back to front way. Unlike other viruses, retroviruses store their genetic information using RNA instead of DNA, meaning they need to make DNA when they enter a human cell in order to make new copies of themselves. HIV is a spherical virus. The outer cell of the virus is called the envelope, and this is covered in spikes of the glycoprotein like GP120 and GP41, which allows HIV to look onto the CD4 receptor on CD4 T cell and enter the cell. Inside the virus envelope is a layer called the matrix. The core of the virus or nucleus is held in the capsid concept structure in the center of the virion. The capsid contains 2 enzymes essential of HIV replication: the reverse transcriptase and second one is integrase molecules. It also contains two strands of RNA which holds HIV's genetic material. HIV's RNA is made up of 9 genes which contain all the instructions on to make new viruses. Three of these genes, GAG, POL, and ENV, provide the instruction to make proteins that will form new virus particles. For example, ENV provides the code to make the proteins that form the envelope or cell of HIV. GAG makes the structure proteins such as the matrix and the capsid, and POL makes the enzymes that are essential for making a new virus. The other six genes known as TAT, REV, NEF, VIF, VPR, and VPU provide code to make proteins that control the ability of HIV to infect a cell, produce new copies of a virus, or release viruses from an infected cell. The life cycle of HIV virus. First step is attachment and entry. The process of producing a new viruses begins when HIV gains entry to a cell. This process happens in two stages. First is attachment and second one is a fusion. HIV infects immune system cells which have a CD4 cell receptor on the surface. The cell include T lymphocytes, also known as the T cells, monocytes, macrophage, and dendritic cells. The CD4 receptor is used by the cell to signal to other parts of the immune system the presence of antigens. When HIV makes contact with a CD4 cell, the GP120 spikes on the surface of HIV lock onto the CD4 receptor and another co-receptor, either CCR5 or CXCR4. The GP41 protein is used to fuse the HIV envelope with the cell wall. The process of a fusion allows the HIV capsid to enter the CD4 cells. Several types of antiviral drug have been developed to block different stages of the process of attachment and entry, like CCR5 inhibitors, attachment inhibitors, and fusion inhibitors. The GP41 and GP120 proteins on the surface of the virus are also targets for a vaccine that are designed to produce antibody response. A second step is a reverse transcription. When HIV RNA enters the cell, it must be reverse transcribed into proviral DNA before it can be integrated into the DNA of the host cell. HIV uses its reverse transcriptase enzyme to convert RNA into a proviral DNA inside the cell. Two types of antiviral drug have been developed to stop the action of reverse transcriptase and the creation of proviral DNA. Nucleoside and nucleotide. Reverse transcriptase inhibitors NRTIs and NTRTIs block HIV production by inserting nucleoside or nucleotide into the chain of HIV DNA as is created, terminating the chain. Non-nucleotide reverse transcriptase inhibitors like NRTIs block HIV production by binding directly to the reverse transcriptase enzyme. The third step is the integration. After HIV RNA is converted into DNA, HIV's integrase enzyme attaches itself to the end of the proviral DNA strands and it is passed through the wall of the cell nucleus. Once the proviral DNA enters the cell nucleus, it binds to the host DNA and then the HIV DNA strand is inserted into the host cell DNA. HIV integrase inhibitors have been developed to block the transfer of the HIV DNA strand into the host cell DNA. After the proviral DNA is integrated into the DNA of the host cell, HIV remains dormant within the cellular DNA. This stage is called latency and the cell is described as a latently infected. It can be difficult to detect these latently infected cells even when using the most sensitive tests. Fourth stage is transcription and translation. The cell will produce HIV RNA if it receives a signal to become active. CD4 cells become activated if they encounter an infectious agent. When the cell become active, HIV use the host enzyme RNA polymerase to make a messenger RNA. This messenger RNA provides the instruction for making a new viral protein in a long chain. The long chains of HIV proteins are cut into a smaller chains by HIV's protease enzyme. Fifth step is assembly and budding. The protein chains begin to assemble into the new viruses at the cell wall. HIV protease inhibitors are designed to block the activity of HIV's protease enzyme. As the virus buds from the cell wall, its genome becomes enclosed in a capsid produced from HIV's GAG protein. After the new virus is assembled, it must leave the cell by pushing through the cell wall to leave the cell completely and become infectious. The virus must take lipids from the cell wall to make the surface of a glycoprotein. Maturation inhibitors are begin developed to block the cutting of the GAG protein, and that is needed to produce a mature virus. Clinical stage of HIV infection. First is a primary HIV infection. HIV enters the body by infecting the CD4 cells in the mucous membranes of the vagina or the rectum, or by direct infection of a CD4 T cells in the bloodstream. At this stage, pre-exposure prophylaxis using antiretroviral drug can prevent HIV infection if it is taken constantly. Post-exposure prophylaxis with 3-drug antiretroviral combination can prevent HIV infection at this stage and for up to 72 hours after exposure. Dendritic cells are among the first to encounter HIV. Their jobs is to transport infectious agent to the lymph nodes. When HIV arrives in the lymph nodes around 24 to 48 hours after exposure, they activate other immune cells such as the CD4 T cells and HIV's primary target. Symptoms of acute infection may last for up to 2 weeks. Viral load reaches its peaks at this time and may measure above 1 million copies per ml of blood. CD4 cell levels will fall at this time. The likelihood of transmitting HIV is the highest during the first few months after infection, when HIV level in blood, semen and vaginal fluid are very high. Around 3 to 4 weeks after infection, HIV antigen P24 will also become detectable. Fourth generation antibody antigen test, which combine the detection of HIV antibody and HIV P24 antigen, will show a positive result at this stage. Within further 4 to 8 days, HIV antibody only test using a blood will show a positive result. HIV levels begin to fall in the blood and CD4 levels begin to rise again, although not to the level prior to infection. After around 6 months, viral load and CD4 level will stabilize at a level known at the set point.
Second is a chronic infection. HIV infection will not cause further illness for some years. This period is known as the asymptomatic phase. HIV gradually reduces the number of CD4 cells in the body until the CD4 cells count falls below 200 cells mm per cube. After the CD4 cells count falls below this level, the risk of developing AIDS-related infection greatly increases. The asymptomatic phase lasts for around 10 years on average. The length of asymptomatic phase depends on how quickly the CD4 cell count declines. If a person has a very high viral load, they will lose CD4 cells more quickly. Antiretroviral treatment suppresses HIV to undetectable levels, restores the CD4 cells count to normal levels, and prevents a disease if started at any time during the asymptomatic phase and taken every day. All treatment guidelines recommend that the people start treatment as soon as they are ready after HIV diagnosis. During the asymptomatic phase, CD4 cells counts and a viral load test can monitor the progression of HIV disease. AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a chronic, potential, and life-threatening condition caused by the human immunodeficiency virus. It's the most advanced stage of HIV. But just because a person has HIV doesn't mean they will develop AIDS. HIV destroys CD4 T cells, white blood cells that play a large role helping your body fight disease. You can have an HIV infection with a few or no symptoms for years before it turns into AIDS. AIDS is diagnosed when the CD4 T cell count falls below 200 or you have an AIDS defining complications such as a serious infection or a cancer. Here a difference between HIV and AIDS. HIV is a human immunodeficiency virus. AIDS is a acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. HIV is a virus which attack immune system in humans. AIDS is a medical condition. Patients will suffer a minor difficulty. Symptoms will be similar to flu. Patient will experience some signs and symptoms disrupting the quality of a life. Thank you.